Hello?
Hey.
Hey.
Okay.
Nothing wants to work for me tonight.
That is unfortunate.
So, no Bluetooth headphones, because that's not going to work. And then the computer... God damn it. And then that new computer that I got from my dad is like the MacBook Air or whatever. It's like a newer version.
Yeah.
And Mac decided, you don't need USB ports in there anymore.
Yeah. That's always just
right.
a confusing decision. I don't get that.
Yeah, I obviously don't get it either. So I was having to use a converter, and now that sounds like shit, so I have no clue what I'm going to do. As far as the podcast is concerned, so I'm back on the old one.
Dang.
Which I wanted to sell, but now I probably won't be able to.
Well, folks, no time like the present to drop a line about our upcoming Patreon.
God, don't even get me started on that. I haven't even gotten to work on that.
Yeah, no, you got a lot going on. It's fine. It'll happen when it happens. But it's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually. Just nothing wants to work. It's annoying. It's frustrating. I don't understand that. Why would you get rid of USB?
Yeah.
How hard is it to keep a USB port?
They want you to purchase another device to supplement that, but that solution doesn't work. So it is a little frustrating.
It's not even another device though. Like this is just a little like thing. Like a little converter.
A dongle even?
It's not a dongle. Maybe you have to get the official one because this is a third party.
You need an official dongle.
For it to work? Yeah. Go fuck yourself, Apple. I'll keep this computer before I buy any more of that shit.
There you go.
It's stupid because I do love Apple. Like, I love the computer. And, like, I've been using that new computer for writing, and it's really nice and lightweight and everything. But, like...
Yeah.
And the reason that I got it was my dad was like, you should just take mine because mine has been freezing up on me, and it froze up on me when I was taking my final and crashed and everything. So he was like, take this one because I'm not using it as much, so you can upgrade and, you know, run multiple things and have a newer computer. This one's not super old, but it's like, you know, I've had it for quite a while now. And it's just like, why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense to me. It's not going to take up that much space.
That's supposed to be Apple's market value, basically, is the ease of use, the idea that even a dummy can use it. But, yeah, when it takes that many steps just to make previous iterations of it play well with other technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just hair-pullingly frustrating.
Right. I mean, I feel the same way about them getting rid of the headphone jack. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
And that's not even a problem that I deal with because I use Bluetooth headphones. You know, I've used those for years now, although those just broke. So technology really hates me.
Yeah. Well, they claim that they wanted it to be like more streamlined and everything, but of course we know this was a ploy to sell AirPods, which worked on me. And I gotta tell you, those things are pretty sturdy, man. Like, I washed mine by mistake. And at first I'm like, oh crap. Okay, well this makes sense because they just came out with a new version of AirPods. So these, of course, they're gonna destruct. Partially in part because of me. I'll take the blame. It's fine. But I left it alone for like a day. And they dried out enough that they started working again. I was so impressed by that. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean this is the issue. They make a great product, but then they do weird things that you're like, why would you do that?
Right.
And that's been a more recent thing I've noticed.
Yeah.
Where, like, you know, I just don't know what they're doing.
I got a feeling they don't know what they're doing either. But I know what we're doing. We're starting the podcast. Hooray.
God, you are so, like, gotta get into it. All right. Let me bitch for 2 hours. Damn.
I mean, we're getting to that. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's basically our value of the market. Yes, so I am Matt Peters. This is Lex and Matt's Excellent Adventure. I'm joined as always by the Lex Factor, Lex Lutz.
Ugh. Not a fan. Not a good nickname. Do not approve.
You're not a fan of much today.
No. I also, if you hear periodic screaming, it's because my neighbors have been partying, day drunk for over 5 hours.
Ah.
Just yelling. They're just yelling
that
all
Mike's
the
Hard
time.
Lemonade, just down in that.
It's a Tuesday. I'm here trying to get work done, get things done, and they're like day drunk, crazy in the pool and stuff. And I'm like, what do you? How is this your like? I understood that. I would have understood it was yesterday, like because that's Memorial Day. Everyone doesn't have to work, and it's like a traditional party day. It's a Tuesday. There's like 6 cars out front. What is happening?
Hey, you know what?
I hate life right now.
It's Florida. You know, things work a little different there. They're keeping the party going. They're keeping the love going at your expense.
Florida is weird because you meet people that are completely normal people that you would meet anywhere, and then all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck just happened? Because you encounter someone that you like. Florida is definitely deserves that title that it has of being so weird.
You know what I love is when you're having a conversation with somebody and just in the middle of it they drop something that they perceive as just like a common opinion about something, and it's just like the most out of left field thing in the world. Like, yeah, you know, I like to go shopping, and, you know, sometimes I like to pick up a dozen eggs on my own, but, you know, I just don't understand why the liberals just hate eggs so much. It just seems like it's just a simple thing. And it's just always just like they slide it on in there. It's always something so just...
What?
Yeah.
What, I know, but what is I don't understand when did this happen? What, did I just do this or what happened?
Not you. No.
Oh,
saying,
well,
sometimes.
You literally just did the thing that you're talking about,
exactly.
though. I'm like, where did that come from?
Now you know how it feels. No, it's just weird. Like, just stuff that...
I'm genuinely confused right now. What's happening?
Like, I'm basing it on something else that's much more just awful than what I just said.
Okay.
Yeah. So, basically, I had a coworker years ago, and I think I brought this up before, who just slid in a conversation with, all right, yeah, you know, I think everybody's equal. I think everybody deserves a place at the table. Everything's great. Everything's wonderful. Except I just don't want my daughter to date a black guy. But other than that, I feel like everybody's just on the same page. You know, equal rights for everybody. Yeah, that seems to be
a common thing that people think they can just say.
Yeah.
For some weird reason.
I don't get that. I don't
understand it either. Why do you think that's just okay to just throw out there?
Why is it cool to say to a black dude? I mean,
why is it cool to say to anyone? Because I've had white people say that to me as a white person.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, for the target demographic that you're criticizing to my face, that's a little weird.
They genuinely don't think there's anything wrong with it. That's got to be the explanation. Like, they think that I mean, there are so many people that think that those microaggressions and those little racist moments are not racist. Mm-hmm. And because they think if you're not spraying someone with a fire hose or something, like, it's not racist. I'm like, that, what? No.
Yeah, no, it's a strange metric. I don't quite understand it myself. But hey.
All right, so you almost died.
I did. So, folks, if you're listening, you know that we took a week off, and it was kind of mandatory because I came down with pneumonia. You see, when you work yourself too hard from both ends of the candle, or whatever this phrase is, I'm kind of
burning
still out
both
of
ends.
it. Sure.
Candle.
Yeah, that thing. So when you do that, it's kind of hard to recognize when you need to stop. You know, your friends may tell you, your podcast co-host may tell you, your wife may tell you, but you keep going, okay, I'm going to get through these projects, because I had 2 big projects. I had Shy Nerd Fest, and I had the Uncanny Magazine TV show taping. Right. I'm like, all right, cool. This is a solid 2 weeks of work.
I was saying like 2 weeks. It's a very short period of time.
Yeah. And once that happens, I'm just going to chill. You know, it's my anniversary. Everything's going to be fine. But life had other plans. So I went in for my annual checkup, and the doctor's like, how are you even functioning right now? I'm like, oh my God, what do you know? He's like, you are just wheezing and you sound like you're just having trouble breathing altogether. I'm like, oh, well, I'm asthmatic, so there's no big surprise there.
I would say you did not exhibit any of that when I was around.
Yeah.
So that developed later.
Yeah. So, I mean, by the time, when you were around, I was drinking quite a bit, too. So it was like the alcohol was helping clear out a little bit of the phlegm, I'm sure. But, yeah, after all that, and the late nights and the early mornings and just not dressing properly and just worrying about every little thing and still maintaining my day job, I came down with pneumonia. And X-rays proved it. It was not cool. So
the X-rays proved it.
Yes, they did.
You didn't believe it before that.
Nope.
But you got some proof there.
I'm like, no. This is just this is like a chest cold or something. I'm cool. I just take some Dayquil, keep on rolling. No, man, I had to take drugs. Like, I got prescribed some stuff that made my feet swell up to the point where I'm like, oh my God, my feet look like Popeye's like forearms. That's not good. But it was a small price to pay for the ability to breathe and to function. So I'm here to tell you folks today that nothing is more important than your health. Nothing is more important than maintaining a dialogue with your healthcare provider, going for regular checkups, and
sure,
most of all, remember that self-care is not just about overindulgence and pampering yourself. Self-care is about doing a self-check as well, and making sure that your systems are working properly.
Yeah.
So yeah. Almost died, still here.
Yeah, that was a thing, because you were wanting to. When you messaged me that, like, because obviously we recorded the podcast and you were like, oh yeah, I got my checkup tomorrow, whatever, but everything's good. And I was like, okay, cool. And Then you messaged me later that day and you were like, well, they're rolling me in to see if I have pneumonia. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so that was, and then I had checked in with you and you didn't message me back. So I was messaging your wife, being like, what's going on? And she's like, well, he has pneumonia. And then, you went home whenever after that. And then you released the episode that we had recorded Thursday on like Friday. Mm-hmm. And you were like, oh, finally got it taken care of. And I was like, or maybe it was Saturday morning. I can't remember what day it was.
It was Friday because I was very bored.
Right. I understand that. I was fucking furious.
Now, see, I get it.
I was furious because I was like, you're not going to listen, like, you're not listening to me to, like, take a break. And then we kind of fought. And I was like, we need to take a break last week. Like, this week, when I was saying, like, oh, let's take a break. And you were like, nah, no. And I was mad. Like, I was legit mad about it.
Why were you mad?
I was mad because so first of all, I've been there, so I was talking about, like, overworking and not taking care of yourself and how that's a problem. Mm-hmm. And then it was like talking to a brick wall, where it was just like, oh, you're just not going to listen, like, to what I'm saying or what Dee's saying or what other friends and family are saying, which is you don't need to do so much all the time.
Right.
Like, you need to stop and think about, like, what you're doing to yourself physically, mentally, all of it, because it's too much. Like, I had basically what's happening with you, or what had just happened with you, happened to me several years ago. When I thought it was a cold. It was actually bronchitis. By the time I got to the doctor, it was acute bronchitis, and they had to check me. They were like, well, we need to check for lung cancer or whatever. And I was like, fuck. And it scared the shit out of me. Like, it scared me out of my workaholic tendencies.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this isn't worth it. Like, I reevaluated a lot of things after that. And it felt to me from the outside looking in like you were having one of those moments, but you were not acknowledging that it was happening. So that's what it felt like.
I respected the fact that you felt strongly about that, because I get it. When you go through something, you want to warn people that you care about not to make the same mistakes you did. Totally understand that. My thing is, I wanted you to recognize that me staying home and me kind of tuning out from all the other shit that I was working on was me taking a break. Putting out the podcast was an obligation. That's something that I had to do because we promised people that it would get out. Not saying like there's any type of physical strain on that at all, because there isn't. It's just me pushing some buttons. And like I said, it was just me, basically, it's the same effort it would have taken me to play Mortal Kombat that day, is me getting the podcast out.
But it's not the same, because you're putting mental effort into, you're not completely tuning out. You're not completely letting go. You're still holding on to work.
Have you done the tutorial on Mortal Kombat 11? Because I'm telling you right now, that's work.
No.
That is work.
No, I haven't. I haven't played any of that.
Okay.
I was curious as to how it ported in on the Switch. Like,
Yeah.
I'm always curious about that because I'm like, I love the Switch and like the format, but things don't always port into that portable. So I was waiting to see reviews and then maybe a price drop on that.
So from what I saw, like, it holds up as far as like FPS count, except they had to like reduce the graphical strain on the system. Right. Yeah.
But like the way the graphics are now, that's not really that big of a deal. Like It's not like you're dropping a lot, because graphics are ridiculously good right now.
Exactly.
I think that, okay, so I was whatever. I was mad about the putting the podcast out, because in my opinion, you should have just waited a couple more days when I said, like, I had made the post that it wasn't a big deal. Like, you know, it was, to me, it was like literally go to sleep. Like,
yeah.
And then it was like, we should not record the podcast this week, and then push back on that as well. So It was like, it was the combination of things that I was like, this is, I don't know, like I said, brick wall, like, type of situation.
It was frustrating because both of us were coming from a place of trying to do what's best for our friend. You were looking out for me from that regard. I was attempting to do the same on my end by saying, okay, I know that on two fronts. One, I didn't want to let you down. I didn't want to let the listeners down. Second front, I knew that it would bug me if I didn't at least get that episode out. Like, that would be frustrating to the point where I couldn't really relax the way that I should have. And so that released me from having to have that hanging over me.
But that was a part of the part where I was like, you should be, like, asking yourself why. Why is that frustrating you on that level? Why is it an obsessive thing? It's not that, I don't have that, or everyone doesn't have those. Everyone has those things, but, like, sometimes you have to evaluate why that thing is bothering you on that level.
Yeah, and I can tell you exactly why in this case. Is because I worked so hard to get it done. We met these, deadlines. We got the stuff done. The only thing holding up progress was, in my mind, just me pushing a couple of buttons. So I'm like, okay, this is stupid. I'm just going to do this. Plus, I was home from work anyway, my day job.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not, if you want to get what Jim Henson got that killed him and want to go down that road.
It's not going to be that bad. Trust me, it's not going to be that bad. Plus, I am taking care of myself. I'm getting better sleep now. I'm getting better rest. I took 6 whole days off of work. That was like the longest I've taken off of work in the past 7 years. So that was a miracle in and of itself. Had an anniversary in there.
My thought from it was not like, that's all good. Like, that's all really good. You should do that. The thing that I was hoping you would take away from it was that you don't want to put yourself in that position again.
And I did, to an extent. Because, I mean, it's the same lesson I took away from Cast today. I'm not going to do that again because I saw how my face looked in the mirror.
I still don't believe you.
See,
what day is it? It's the 28th. I don't buy it yet.
I would have had to have the logo done and printed out by now if I was doing it this year. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. But I'm making moves to take better care of myself. Plus, other than the freaking pneumonia, clean bill of health. I'm all good.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
So that's
Matt
my
lives.
news.
All right.
So that's my news.
That's good. Like, I'm glad that you're alive.
Yeah. And as you can hear, I don't really like talking about myself in that matter too much, just because it's like, I don't want to have to put somebody in a position where they have to like feign like, oh, are you okay? It's like, no, dude, I'm not okay.
I'm not doing that.
I know you're not. It's just that's how my mind works.
I don't I kind of don't give a fuck. Like, but I just at the same time I'm like, God damn it, listen to me.
You give too much of a fuck. That's what it is. That's
also very true.
See?
I've been in many arguments where that's the case.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, at least you're better. And then you guys had your anniversary Memorial weekend. I'm assuming.
Well, we went to see a movie. That's basically it. We didn't get a chance to like celebrate. Like we were gonna go out of town and we were gonna go to like oh Jesus Christ, I was gonna say King's Landing. We were gonna go to Starved Rock.
You don't want to go there.
No, definitely not. Yeah, we were going to go out of town a little bit. My brother was going to watch BMO. Everything was all set up, squared away, but yeah, life happens.
I was going to say, things happen. Yep. The important part is that you're both okay.
Yep. Important part, we're okay. We're still together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Are you still married?
No, it was a contingent on going to Starved Rock. Like, this is it. Starved Rock is going to save our marriage.
This is it. God, this is not going well.
If you don't take me to King's Landing, we're through.
We need to get away.
Yeah. We need to see what's west of Westeros.
I just always think of like those people that are like, we take this one vacation and this will save our marriage. And I'm like, oh my God.
If you've gotten to that point of desperation.
Yeah, you're done.
That
is such a, maybe if we have a kid.
Oh God.
It'll make everything better.
That's the worst.
People do that, or they used to. I hope that therapy.
No, they still do. Better. There's still a thing such as entrapment.
Maybe if we add another human with emotions and feelings that we have to worry about, it'll fix all of our problems and feelings.
This is going to need me around, see? Because we got a kid together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, that doesn't work.
All right. Let me put you up on the dresser, huh? Let's make a baby.
Let's make a baby about it, huh?
Yeah.
No. So, yeah, unless you're going on vacation to like a therapist.
Vacation to there. Yes, if you go on like a couples retreat type of situation where you're actually getting therapy, then maybe your vacation might work because it's the beginning of something.
I kind of want to just have a fight so we can go to vacation therapy, give massages and shit. 2 tickets to therapy, That's
it. That's the premise of a Vince Vaughn movie.
Him and Jennifer Aniston?
No, it's called Couples Retreat, and I have seen it.
Oh my God. I thought you were just making that up.
Nope. That was not. That is a real movie.
Poor Vince Vaughn.
In defense of that movie, it had Kristen Bell in it, so it was kind of worth watching, even though it's not. Mm-hmm. Like, don't. But if you happen to stumble across it and see Kristen Bell, you can at least watch Kristen Bell be funny for a little while. It had Jason Bateman in it too. Anyway.
I always get Kristen Bell confused with the girl from Twilight. Like
Ronna
that.
Mars.
Just.
Yeah, because that's Kristen Stewart.
It's Kristen Stewart, yeah. Okay, one is bright and full of sunshine, and one is just not. One
is a goth lesbian, which I'm all here for.
Yeah, hey, that's cool. That's her thing. I'm surprised they didn't try to cast her as Batwoman.
Oh, yeah. It's television. I don't know if she'd do television.
Yeah.
There's still some people that won't do that. She's also young. Like, she might be a few more years off from doing television. Because it's a big commitment. Like, and I don't even think she's 30 yet, or she might just be 30.
Wow.
She was young when she was like 18 when she got the Twilight movies.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to look it up. So speaking of her, we can transition into Battinson.
Yes. Battinson. I like it.
Kristen Stewart is 29 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. She's very young.
She is.
She was a child actor and stuff too. So, Panic Room. Anyway.
Oh yeah, that was a good movie. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was a good movie. It was.
Dude.
Okay, so they're saying that Robert Pattinson is going to be Batman.
He's 33, by the way. He's the perfect age for a Batman. I mean,
he's the perfect age. He has the perfect jaw.
Yeah.
And he is perfect. He's perfect. I said this to my brother over the weekend about it, a video about it, and he they're saying that the rumor is that Reeves is going to be doing a very detective heavy Batman. That's what his is going to be. And apparently when Matt Reeves was in school, Jeff Loeb was one of his professors.
No kidding.
So, long Halloween, bitch. It's happening.
That's kind of great.
If they're going for detective, dark, if they're kind of going back to, I was messaging my brother about this, and I said this is, and my brother was saying no, I'm not on board for this or whatever, and I was like, dude, I'm calling it now. He's going to be what Batman / Bruce Wayne, what Heath Ledger was for Joker.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I don't really care about boys' feelings about Twilight on the internet, okay? I don't care.
He's over 10 years old now.
It's over 10 years old. If you want to look at it like that, he was Cedric. Cedric, what's his face? Diggory.
Yeah. Awesome Hufflepuff.
Exactly. He rocked it in that movie. He rocked it so hard, I didn't even know who he was the first time I saw it. I'm like, was that Robert Pattinson? It was. Because he kicked ass.
He's a great actor, man.
In such a small role, he made that his own. And I'm not exaggerating. I really liked him in that role.
He is he's so much more than those movies.
Yeah. And
you can see lots of it if you go online, nobody hated Twilight more than Robert Pattinson. Because you can just see he's doing the interviews and he's like, oh, fuck this shit. But he's been in a lot of movies since. He's taken a lot of really cool roles, a lot of darker roles. He's always been a great actor. So is Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
It's not the actors that shit in Twilight. If you want to shit on things, it's the writing and it's the direction and everything like that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the design and the budget and all of that. There's a million reasons why Twilight is messed up.
I mean, look at it this way, too.
First and foremost being writing.
Yes.
And also it's simple writing, but it's for teenagers. Why are you criticizing it like it's supposed to be Citizen Kane? It's not.
Right. Some great actors have been in some crap movies. So that's nothing to hang your hat on.
And also, if you're listening and you like Twilight and you still like Twilight, but you don't like to talk about how you like Twilight, fucking like Twilight. Who cares?
You know what?
It doesn't affect you.
It doesn't.
If you don't like it.
You know what? I'm tired of people apologizing for liking bad movies. They call them guilty pleasures. I like some movies that are, not traditionally popular. I love Mystery Men.
I love Starship Troopers. I love it with a passion. I think it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cult classic for sure. That's got some love behind it. I guess so does Mystery Men. Yeah.
Well, now this is a fun game. Let's try to think of a movie that you love that everyone hates.
Okay,
universally hated. Almost.
I got the perfect answer for you right here.
Okay.
There's so much to hate about this movie. You are going to groan when I say it. It is Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo.
Oh no, I'm gonna fucking agree. I'm gonna agree.
What?
I'm going to agree. Yes! Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo, fun film. I'm going to add one onto it. Hot Chick.
Oh my
fun
God,
film.
Dude, okay.
Oh my God, is this a Rob Schneider podcast now?
I think it just became
Schneiderheads, motherfuckers.
Schneidercast. All right, so look here. All right,
okay, Deuce Bigelow, fun movie.
Deuce Bigelow's fun movie. I saw it twice at the show. I took my friend Reggie the first time.
That's a little much, but I understand.
And then I took a date to see it the second time, and we were still together after the movie. I was like, yeah, see, right there, Rob Schneider. Just man.
I know Grease 2 is a universally hated film that I fucking love and swear by, and it's far more feminist than the first movie.
Oh, you've brought that up previously, yeah.
Yeah, stand by that.
Yeah. Like, it's so funny because Grease was put on this pedestal so high, and the only time that I ever saw, like, Grease 2 was on WGN Afternoon Saturday movie. Like, I never saw anything about it outside of, like, just coming on TV unannounced, you know?
Yeah. I'm looking up, like, guilty pleasure movies to see what pops up. Okay, Halloween, that's not a guilty pleasure movie, internet. How dare you?
Right, that's critically
Showgirls.
loved.
I've never seen Showgirls.
I saw Showgirls. It wasn't for me.
The Princess Bride. Are you
Princess
kidding me?
Bride.
That's one of the greatest films of all time.
Yeah, you can't put that on the list. No. What was the movie with Demi Moore where she was a stripper?
Striptease.
Striptease. That was pretty good. That was better than Showgirls.
I couldn't get through that. I started it. Okay.
Okay.
5 most universally hated movies. The first one is Daredevil.
Oh.
I've talked about this. I liked Daredevil, guys. The Affleck Daredevil. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought Elektra was a bit much, but I liked the movie Daredevil. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think about the Fantastic Four, the first one with Evans?
Oh man, I wanted to like it so much
It
because
was bad.
Chris Evans is great and
Yeah.
and Chickless was great, but everything else just fell apart.
Oh, this is a great one. Jersey Girl. Kevin Smith's Jersey Girl. Loved it.
Okay,
Love that movie.
okay.
Don't understand why it got so much hate.
Now see, I loved Mallrats back when that was unpopular.
Oh, yeah. Mallrats is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because a lot of people have come around to that now. Like before it was like, oh, you know, it's the sophomore slump for Kevin Smith. Apparently he can't do it twice in a row. I liked Mallrats. Of course,
Yeah.
it was based on comics and everything. So of course, I dug it.
Yeah,
And
it was fun. It was funny.
it was our introduction to
great
Jason
cast.
Lee. Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir. Would you like a chocolate pretzel? The Matrix sequels.
Wait a minute.
Not the first Matrix.
Oh, okay.
The sequels.
Okay. I thought the second one was all right. I didn't mind.
I don't remember them enough.
I didn't mind the second one because there was still hope at the end of that film. There was still a glimmer of, all right, they can turn this ship around. They can turn the Nebuchadnezzar around.
Ooh, Spider-Man 3. Nope. Still hated it.
Okay, I'll give you that. However, the scene where Sandman is reconstituting himself coming out of the sand pit.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was great. That was emotionally great. I'll say that. So it had its moments. And I mean, to be fair, oh God. I can just hear all the Letterkenny fans saying, to be fair, oh God. I can't.
I don't know what that is. Continue.
You don't want to know. Anyway.
I don't want to know. That's why I
No.
said continue. Not continue with your thing, but
Yeah. So, yeah, all right. To be fair, Sam Raimi didn't want to make a movie with Venom. He didn't want to make that movie at all. So he made his Sandman movie and plugged Venom in where he could fit him in and put not Tobey Maguire. Who's the kid?
Topher Grace.
Topher Grace as Venom. Not a good choice. Oh, but that
No,
leads me
I
to
like
another
him,
guilty
though.
pleasure.
I like him though.
Yeah, all right. That's cool. I mean, he's a good actor.
First of all, you still haven't watched BlacKkKlansman yet, and I know it because you haven't messaged me about it. Because once you watch it, you'll like it.
Yeah, but I loved him in that drug movie he was in where he was kind of
Crash.
like Crash was good. What was I going to say? Oh, Venom. The recent Venom movie that came out. I really enjoyed that.
I haven't seen any of it.
Yeah. I mean, just like, not even ironically, I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, no, so back to Battinson.
Yeah.
He's going to be great. And I'm a little bit worried that like it might be a rumor mill thing, although there was an interview that I read with him and they were like, "Can you tell us anything about Batman?" And he was like, "I really can't say anything. I can't." So that's a good sign, like that he is going to be Batman and that they're just signing it, and more than likely they're just waiting to announce it at Comic-Con.
Yeah. And,
the only reason that I could see him not wanting to take it on is because he's dealt with
the backlash.
He's dealt with fame, that huge fame.
Yeah.
And the thing that I think could win him over is I think that Matt Reeves probably has a great script and a great vision for it.
I hope that Warner Brothers just says fuck it 2019 and they just go ahead with what their plan is and they don't course correct. Like, I mean, all right. So I know a lot of people had complaints about the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, but it wasn't for them anyway. It was for the kids. And I know they want to scratch that nostalgia itch a little bit too. But it's like, come on now. We grown people on the internet complaining about Sonic the Hedgehog, y'all. What are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah. So these artists had to go back to work. Now I'm just changing subject a little bit. Little deviation here. So they postponed the release of Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie.
What?
Yes.
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, they kicked it back. So now it's Valentine's Day 2020.
What was it before?
Huh?
What was it before?
Oh, I don't know, but it was before that. So now they have to go back and make Sonic look a little bit cuter and more palatable because internet didn't like it.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it because you and I, on a personal level, have talked about this. I'm trying to hunt down the perfect Detective Pikachu stuffed animal that matches the fluffy cuteness of the movie.
Right.
So if you're telling me that they're going to make him fluffy cute, I'm all for it because I love the fluffy cute. Like, that's my faves.
I mean, the only thing about I wanted to wait till the show to tell you this because I knew you were going to bring it up. The only thing about Detective Pikachu that looks movie accurate is it's going to be like too close to taxidermy almost.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be a little weird.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I've decided I'm okay with that. If I can get a close to movie accurate of the fluffy Detective Pikachu, because I looked up these stuffed animals and they're all these bitch ass, terrible looking, Peacork-Chew. Like,
bitch ass Pikachus, man.
Well, they're just, they look terrible. And I can't find it, and I want one that's good.
I think I showed you a picture of the one that Archie brought me back from Japan, the Japanese Pokemon store with Pikachu in like a dapper sport jacket and the cane, and he's got like a pocket watch.
I think so. The main thing that I've noticed is they don't do the fluffy.
Right.
Which doesn't make any sense because you have this movie coming out. Like, why don't you have merch everywhere for it?
Right.
That's where you make all your money.
One thing they did manage to get out that they got right was the hat. They got the hat with the ears.
Yes.
So that was cool. But yeah, the take home talking plush, nope, didn't happen.
Yeah. Give me, like, it doesn't even have to be talking, but like, that would be great. Like, give me like a $30, like, deluxe plushie of Pikachu. That's what I want.
Where's my Hot Toys, man? Come on, get in there.
Yeah, but then I won't be able to afford it.
Yeah, that's the downside to being screen accurate.
Stupid. Like, it doesn't have to be completely screen accurate, but it needs to be close. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand why it's that difficult. He looks like a friggin' little yellow teddy bear. It's adorable.
Just get you a Swiffer.
Oh, Hufflepuff. Come on.
And just put some eyes, some googly eyes.
No.
Okay. All right. So,
yeah. But anyway, I'm excited. So are you also on board? Because I was curious if you were on board for him playing Batman or not.
Yeah, actually, I mean, at this point, I know it sounds super dismissive. I don't care. Like, anybody,
that's fair.
Anybody who they pick has to get some good material underneath them in order to make a difference. I mean, I have
confidence in it because I love Matt Reeves.
Yeah,
I think he makes great films. Like, that's my main reason for already being in.
What are some of his other acting credits?
So, directing. He's
directing credits.
Writer-director. So he did all the latest Planet of the Apes movies.
Oh, the last two,
and he works with JJ a lot.
Okay.
With JJ Abrams. So, they've done, like, Felicity. What else?
Lots of stuff.
Let's just go through. Yeah. So the biggest thing that he's done lately is the Planet of the Apes ones.
Oh shit! He did the pallbearer.
Right. He did Cloverfield.
Okay. Oh wow! You got me with Cloverfield. I really like that movie.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
Like I said, Felicity. I was thinking he did some more TV, but I guess not.
Yeah.
The Passage, whatever that was.
I mean, Felicity's enough. Felicity was a great show. Yeah.
Ended horribly, but that's the network's fault. That's not their fault. They made them go back and do more episodes.
We're going to talk about that a little bit more later, too, because I had some other shows I wanted to discuss of that vein. So, with the whole Pattinson Reeves package, I feel good. I feel good about it because I feel like now that DC's not trying to make their own version of Marvel, that, they're going to start making smarter decisions. They see what worked with Aquaman. They see what worked with Shazam, and of course what worked with Wonder Woman and the upcoming one. I was glad to read on that note. Patty Jenkins was like, "Man, I wish we hadn't pushed back the release date. She wants to release it sooner. You know, she's so excited to get it out."
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that. I'm excited about this new Batman. It would be a little weird if Robert Pattinson just stepped into the same like world as Affleck.
I mean, I was watching a video on Emergency Awesome, which is a nice YouTube channel that I watch that kind of goes over rumors and does reviews and stuff like that. He does some good work.
Okay.
And he was saying that like he thinks it's all like based on rumors and stuff, and he usually goes from pretty reliable sources that it's all but like assured that they're going to recast the Flash as well. Like he's not going to make any more movies. I don't know about that, but like I think that this is all they're just going to make individual movies, which I'm totally fine with. It doesn't have to be a universe. If we want a DC universe, we can just look at television because they're doing it perfectly on there. Like
absolutely.
You know, I don't care. I know that I feel bad for like DC fans that want that, but I would rather just get a Green Lantern movie like in 2 years, or you know, get this Batman trilogy, like this new Batman going. Give me a Wonder Woman trilogy. Give me some Flash movies. You know, I would just rather see good movies that worry about this whole thing that all fits together. Like, I don't care. I just want to enjoy the movies.
Yeah. I mean, with DC, they just can't help but bifurcate their properties. They always want to have it both ways. They want to have a universe, and they want to have a standalone thing that doesn't really touch anything else.
Yeah.
So it's even more than It's even more than that now. They have this standalone Joker movie. They still have Suicide Squad 2 to deal with, which, according to reports, is going to be standalone as well. They have the Amazing Titans series on their streaming service that's kicking major ass, along with the Doom Patrol series that just finished up its season and seems to be yet another different universe than the Titans show that it spun off of. So I don't even know how it's working. And Swamp Thing is probably going to be its own thing too. I highly doubt they're going to bring up anything in Swamp Thing.
God, I forgot they were doing Swamp Thing. Oh
yeah,
my God.
That's next on the agenda.
I think that they just need to embrace that they're just making content. They're not making anything intertwined, because like the Joker is a perfect example. Joaquin Phoenix is never going to do multiple movies.
No.
That dude's an eccentric weirdo. Like, he's out after that Joker movie.
Yeah.
I'm amazed he took it in the first place. He must really think it's a fun, interesting role to play.
I think they really just wanted to fill a void, too. You know, they wanted to get a Joker movie done. Maybe everybody else was busy. I hate to put him on that level.
They wanted to make a movie. They wanted to release movies. They look at their schedule and they go, Marvel's releasing X, Y, and Z. This studio's releasing X, Y, and Z. We need to get something out there. And then this is what happens.
And it's funny because I was listening to Fat Man on Batman previous to this, and they were going over the Marvel release schedule. Nothing's really done yet, aside from Far From Home. They're still in production with their next line of movies.
Well, what
so
else
I think they're kind of just hanging back.
Nothing else is coming out this year, right? Other than Far From Home.
Far From Home's coming out. Then I think Guardians 3 is next. And
that's going to be super delayed, though, because, I mean, it was supposed to come out next year, but it's going to be at least another year because they fired Gunn.
Yeah. So
and
they
then brought it back.
They may try to push Black Panther 2 before that. And they have the Eternals movie that's supposed to be coming out. Then the sequel to Captain Marvel, but none of those are in production. Like, none of them. So Marvel's going to be just kind of chilling for a while.
I would be okay with Marvel taking a year off.
Yeah. And plus they're working on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's going to have great content on there. I'd be fine with that. If they took a year off of movies, I'd be like, good. After everything you just did, like after the marathon, take a year.
Yeah, Mark Bernardin said, just kind of reset our expectations too, because the next thing is going to be compared to Endgame, no matter what. And so it's kind of good that Spider-Man is a kind of an epilogue to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still excited about Marvel movies too, though.
I am too.
I'm not. I've seen people that are like, well, this is the end. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's just starting. We just got Black Panther and Captain Marvel. Like, bitch, what? You're leaving now?
It's the end of an era. And
yeah,
I mean,
it's the end of an era, but it's like you're tapping out right when things become diverse and even more interesting. Come on.
I don't think people are tapping out. They just know, like, all right, we're not gonna get Robert Downey Jr.
I have seen people, whatever.
Okay, well, they're weird, but I don't mean to put everybody in that bucket. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Things are just getting interesting now because you know what? It's jazz from this point forward. There's no template. The dangling plot threads that are left behind, like the Mandarin, we're going to have to see how they deal with that without Tony Stark. We're going to have to see... Oh, fuck. Yeah, spoilers.
No, you're good. I was just laughing because you're like, it's jazz from here on out. And then I was just thinking of a joke that I heard the other day that was jazz. You once called jazz America's greatest mistake. So I was just like, oh yeah, America's greatest mistake. Sorry, that's what my brain filled in for that. Yeah, no, it's gonna be, yeah, you fucking spoiled Endgame, so have fun with that, everyone. But like, yeah, it's gonna be really interesting going forward. Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited about the movies that both companies are looking to put out, whether they're linked or not. And I agree, it's probably better off that they're not linked in the DC universe, because, like, clearly they can't handle it.
They can't. And when things get pushed back, it moves everything else back, too. Because one of the things that's been causing...
give us a fucking Green Lantern movie. I don't care, man. Just give us a good Green Lantern movie.
That Green Lantern Corps movie, who knows if that's going to happen or not. But one of the things that caused everything to get pushed back was because they couldn't agree on the Flash film. Like, that was one of the main things that was going on there.
Flashpoint.
Right. And so I guess Ezra Miller didn't quite like the direction it was going. He tried to help write the script at one point.
I don't dislike Ezra Miller.
Sure.
I will say that I do not dislike him. He's fine. I don't care what Ezra Miller thinks about the Flash movie. I
like him as a person.
Yeah, I don't care about him being the Flash ever again.
I don't like the way he runs.
I mean, I just, the idea to me, and I'm not going to place it all on him, because it's not all on him, but the idea to me that he's like, no, I don't like this. But I'm like, you've done basically a cameo in a movie. Like, right. Like, you're not a Stephen Amell going into, season 20 of a show.
Yeah.
You're still very, like, whatever.
Shout out to Stephen Amell. We do this all the time, I'm sure. The anchor, the passion behind the Arrowverse, man. I feel like so much goodwill and so much joy has been bought because
I am working to catch up on that.
His good attitude. He's just got such a great attitude about just his job, his coworkers, everything. I love it. I love him. He's a great person.
Did I tell you how I fell in love? How I started Arrow? Because Arrow started right after Smallville ended.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like the year after, remember, and I was like, I can't do it. Because I knew what Green Arrow was according to Smallville, and I was like, I just can't do it. Like, I was still emotionally, like, hungover from Smallville. Not in a bad way. Like, I loved Smallville beginning to end. But I just was like, I can't get into it. So I ended up listening to Aisha Tyler's podcast, Girl and Guy.
Okay, yeah.
She had Stephen Amell on there. And it was at Comic-Con.
Nice.
And it wasn't a panel. It was just, he was at the convention or something like that, and they were having this discussion. And he was so open and refreshing and talking about being a leader and what he wants to be on set and the responsibility that he feels doing the role. And, things like he got walking pneumonia at the end of season 1. He had all these, and that's when he was like, I can't do, he started to set certain boundaries and rules for himself. Like, he would not do shirtless scenes all the time anymore. He would not, he started to set these rules and boundaries, and he talked about the responsibility of being number one on the call sheet, of being that guy. And it was the way that he was speaking about it was, not only do I understand all of this, I'm ready for it.
Okay.
And I was like, won over. He won me over. And I was like, I have to watch this show. No.
I'll make you this vow here and now. I will do less shirtless scenes on the podcast going forward.
Yeah. Yes. I will not make that promise, but that's he won me over with it. He was there was something so sincerely.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is.
Him.
Like, he's just a sincere guy. You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Because you get the impression that he really means what he says, what he's putting out there. He's a good actor. You know, I've talked about how he got his buddy Cody Rhodes on the show before. Mm-hmm. You know, he's just a bro. In a good way.
Yes, I agree in a good way. The way that he seems to, you know, and you're just seeing through social media and stuff like that, but the way that he seems to genuinely love his friends,
right? His
wife, his daughter, the people that he works with, how he respects them so much.
Yes.
It's just, there's in this era of fucking idiots getting television shows left and right, or Instagram influencers and everything like that, to see someone who really genuinely seems to give a shit about what he does and knows why he's doing it, which is for himself, his friends, his family, his everything, to use his platform in a charitable way to communicate with people in a new way. You know, the way that he was on Facebook and everything like that, he was one of those first guys to really do that. That I saw, at least.
No, you're right. He's got that same type of energy that The Rock has, that he brings to all his films. He brings that enthusiasm and that sincerity.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. You should also listen to him on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast.
Oh, I'm sure that's going to be a great episode.
It was great. He was saying, like, you know, that because he talked about it on a different podcast where he was like, it just opened him up in a way he didn't realize. Like, Rosenbaum is just that good of an interviewer. And the conversations that they had were just really interesting. Like, I didn't know Stephen Amell was married before and had been divorced.
Oh, wow.
He's never talked about it publicly. And it's not like he's refused to, but it's just never been a thing. And he's kind of been reluctant or whatever to talk. And, you know, and they got into that stuff in his podcast. And it was incredibly interesting to hear more about him as a person. And it made me, you know, love him even more and respect him even more. But it's really well done. I definitely recommend that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Breaking news for you that you'll like to hear. They're bringing a new chapter of Detective Pikachu to the Switch. They just announced that.
Oh, wait, is there already one on the Switch?
No.
I've never played Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there.
I played a little bit. It's a little
I heard it was
below.
Bad.
It's good. It's just below my enjoyment level as far as, like, age-wise. A little too easy for the engagement there. Plus, they spell everything out for you. It's just like, push A to go over here. Like, motherfucker, I know where A is. I've been gaming my whole life. I know where the A button is. I know how to use a touch screen.
Yeah.
Come on. Catch up with me. But yeah, I mean, I could see where the appeal is, but it's just, I couldn't stick
I
with
will look forward to reading reviews and then buying that when it eventually goes on sale, because that's how I roll with video games now. You know the last video game that I bought?
What's that?
Red Dead Redemption.
No. Shoot. The last video game I bought, and one that I need to recommend to everybody. This will bring you joy. It will bring you such enjoyment out of your gaming experience. If you have a friend, if you have a sibling, if you have a partner, play Overcooked. It's free on PlayStation Plus this month. It's this game about kitchen management, and you're these little guys who run around and try to make dishes to serve them to people in a timely fashion. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's really fun. There's a sequel out too. This is how good this game was. D and I played this pretty much the entire time that I was under the weather. It was so cool. We got the DLC. The DLC was on sale too for like $1 or something like that. We beat that, and then we immediately paid full price for the sequel because we enjoyed this series so much. So shout out to Team 17, I think the development team is. It's a lot of fun. You got to try it. Yeah. It's even cool with one player, but you really get that experience, the team building experience, when you play with more than one person.
Yeah. No, I just haven't. There's been a couple of Switch games. Like, there's a bunch of Mario games. The one that was originally on the what was the last gen thing?
Oh, the Wii U, the new Super Mario Brothers
Yeah,
Wii U
yeah.
Ultimate Edition Turbo with Knuckles.
That one.
Yeah.
That one was one that I was like, maybe I'll pick this up at some point because I didn't have a Wii U. So
I have the most nitpicky reason for not playing those new Super Mario Brothers games, because the background music is kind of annoying and the Koopa Troopers dance to it, and so when I'm going through the level, they literally will stop and do like a little two-step and just like I'll glide over them when I'm trying to stomp on them.
Oh yeah.
See?
When I play on the Switch, I play it muted a lot.
Right.
It's probably sacrilege, but I don't.
No,
I do it while I'm watching a show or something.
That's really bad for you then, because you won't be able to hear the music cue and wonder like, why did they just stop like mid stroll just to do a little jig? Like, no, I don't want that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a Yoshi game on there, and I don't know.
No, there's
I still haven't beat Red Dead Redemption.
What do you call it? Mario Maker 2.
My horse died. I got upset.
That's sad.
God
Did you have that white Arabian horse?
I don't remember what it was, but I had a horse. His name was Elmer. I had him the whole game. I hadn't played for like 2 months. I picked up my game. 30 minutes in, I kill my fucking horse.
You need to get another horse and name him Snowball 2. That's what you need to do.
No, I named him. I gave him a normal name. I think I named him Henry.
Oh, okay.
He was black. I don't know. But like, I just don't. I don't know. I just got really upset.
There's a really good horse, because you can have a whole stable of horses. There's a really cool horse.
I want one horse. I want it to be my best friend.
You can have that. That's all you.
No, but they killed it.
No, but I mean, you could find a better horse and make that your best friend.
But it wasn't. You can't find a better best friend. That's not how best friend works.
That's how it works in Red Dead Redemption, especially in the Old West. Look, in the Old West, you had to be. You couldn't be picky about your friends in the Old West. Oh no, when it's yeehaw shooting time,
yeah,
rootin' tootin' cowboy shooting, you got to get with the program. Okay, all right. So do we want to talk about? We want to talk about Game of Thrones?
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to talk about the content of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Just going to throw that out there. So Game of Thrones ended, not this past weekend, but the weekend before that.
Right.
Fans have been assholes about the show the whole season. As soon as it started, they decided they hated it. And we're going to hate it, and we're going to just fucking trash it to the very end. And that is exactly what happened. Everyone wrote their think pieces and their bullshit. I had to get off of all social media and turn off the news notifications on my phone, because I was getting shit pieces, think pieces sent to me about why Game of Thrones, the ending was bad. Here's the thing. If you didn't like the ending, it depends on the reason you didn't like it, but if you didn't like the ending itself, the content, you weren't paying attention. If you criticize how the ending went down, that's totally valid. Which is, it should have been longer. It should have been a full season. The last 2 seasons should have been 13 episodes. Like, that's what should have happened. I don't understand why they rushed it. I don't understand why they thought they could do it in 6 episodes. They clearly couldn't. They wanted to be done.
I have an answer for that, actually.
Yeah.
The reason is because they got hired to do Star Wars, and they wanted to get started on that.
Right. And if that's the case, then you make arrangements to have someone else take over. But if you want to go get started on Star Wars, fuck you. Finish the thing that finish your food before you move on to the next bit of food, buddy. That is insane. I understand that you're done. You've been doing this for 10 years and that you're done. But especially if you watch the documentary, because last night, or Sunday night, sorry, they aired a documentary on the making of the show. And
I haven't watched that yet. Is it worth my time? Or?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. It's a
Okay.
giant love letter to the people that created the sets and everything, and extras and everything like that. It's all about the people that spent, 7 months building King's Landing, and, this extra who he's been in every season.
Wow.
And, he's just a Stark man. And at one point he was a Renly Baratheon man, and just like how he just loves acting, and he's just the sweetest guy in the world. And he just comes in, he gets so excited. He's just a huge fan of the show. And he never has any lines, but he's a background, like he's an extra that's always there. And it's really for those people that we don't see, but that sacrificed so much of their lives to create this thing. And, it made me even more upset of how awful the response has been. It has not been constructive criticism. I'm not saying there hasn't been constructive criticism. There has been. I've seen constructive criticism, and I've been cool with that. And when that's the conversation, I'm fine with it. It's never going to be as good as the book, because the book is going to have so much more time. Either way, like even if they had 13 episodes for the last 2 seasons, they had time. They still wouldn't have time to flesh all of that out in 13 episodes, because these books, especially, they get bigger and bigger every time. Like, it's going to be massive.
Now, this is something that anime actually deals with quite often, where they'll begin producing a cartoon based on a popular manga.
Right, and it's not done.
And so they have to make that decision. Yeah.
Right, and it's really tough. I don't think it's ever been done with something like this, especially on the level that it's at, with a series that is big as Game of Thrones is.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Martin, he has an outline, he has an idea, he knows who's going to win the game.
Sure.
He knows the big bullet points. He doesn't exactly know how he's getting there. So when he's sitting down with them, he's telling them, here's the bullet point, 1, 2, 3, 4's the end.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all they get. And so they're going to struggle to create it, because he hasn't filled in all of the gaps. So they're going to have to try to fill in the gaps, and they're never going to be as good as he is at it, because it's his world. He created it. And so the books are going to be better when they come out. And I actually do kind of have a weird hope that they're going to come out now, because I feel like Martin is just going to be like, oh, I don't have to deal with the pressure anymore. They know how it ends.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have my own little twists and turns with things, but for the most part, it's going to be the same.
Well, what's funny about this situation is it's unique in the fact that they have all these other spin-offs in the pipeline for Game of Thrones. So at one point, the viewer thinks to themselves, okay, they can always get like a Kit Harington to come back or something like that and do like a Young Indiana Jones, where they show a story from his past and then they fast forward and they, end the story that way, with George R.R. Martin's blessing. But I mean, of course, now we know that's not possible, because Kit Harington basically said, yeah, I'm done. You guys suck. I'm out.
Yeah, Kit Harington is literally a story just broke before our show that Kit Harington is in rehab right now.
Yeah.
Because of the enormous stress that has come from this final season of Game of Thrones and all of the bullshit that's come with it, and alcohol abuse.
Right.
Sophie Turner was talking about just recently how she was put in suicidal tendencies over not now, but in the past with the bullshit that they received from this show.
I feel so bad for her too, because not only all right, so the Game of Thrones finale is polarizing, to say the least, to be polite about it, but that always seemed like a sure shot. That seemed like something people were going to love about her specifically forever. But then you had her on Dark Phoenix, and already that's gotten so much hate and venom because of, well, it's an X-Men film and it's post-Marvel. So it sucks. Now she's getting on both ends. I'm glad that, she found love and she's got a husband that can hopefully, help her to fortify the wall around. Oh God, this is a terrible analogy.
I understand what you mean.
You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I hope that they can work together to make sure that this doesn't affect her as much as it's affecting Kit, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, the article that I was reading was Kit's wife, who was Ygritte.
Yeah.
Like they got married in real, like they met on the show and then ended up getting married like last year or something like that. Like that she's very supportive. I mean, I'm also worried about Emilia Clarke because she dealt with all of those health issues. And I mean, people have been, the bullshit that they've been saying, like, well, they all got paid. I'm like, fuck you. Like, yeah, they got paid, but they're also their lives are being fucking, like, torn to shreds right now.
Right.
Because of all of this backlash.
Yeah, and this is a modern thing. This is something that has started cropping up in nerd culture more recently than ever. I mean, there's always been a little bit of, kickback for certain projects that didn't end the way that folks wanted them to. But to go and attack the actors and actresses that portray these characters because your favorite show didn't, hit all the notes you wanted it to, that's bullshit. That's
you're
bullshit,
a loser.
And that's a weak.
Yeah, you're a loser if you do that.
Of course, we talked about Rose Tico a couple episodes ago, and just
all of the star, how they all get shit. Like, it's stupid. How Pattinson, like we were just talking about, like how he's already, you're already dealing with bullshit from him.
Right. Just based on a movie he did 20 years ago.
I think my thoughts on the finale, without talking about the content.
Yeah.
It makes me look forward to the books even more. I like that I at least know part of the ending.
Yeah.
Did it play out the way that I wanted it to? No. Is that what I expected to happen? Yes. I did not expect it to play out in a way that would make me happy on any level, because that's never been that show.
That's never been that show, and that's why years ago I gave up on Game of Thrones, because I'm like, this isn't what I want. I know that folks love it, but it's not what I'm looking for from an hour-long, drama on a weekly basis.
Right.
But it has enough interesting notes in there that maybe come back, where I'm like, okay, I know it's going to piss me off, but I want to watch it.
I don't know what people wanted or expected from the show.
They wanted a happy ending, oddly, which, no matter how you slice it, Game of Thrones has never been about a happy ending.
Never.
It's never been
and
about that.
And if they would have gotten a happy ending, they would have complained about that.
Of course, because they're like, oh, they just put a bow on it because they had to wrap it up in time for them to go out. Either way, they would have lost.
Or they were doing fan service.
Yeah.
They were doing fan service. Remember how that was happening all last year over a romantic thing that was happening on the show, which I'm also not going to talk about because I genuinely want people to be able to enjoy this maybe a couple years from now. They were like, this romantic thing is all just fan service bullshit. And then they started going a different direction. They're like, what the fuck is happening? Why are they doing this? What do you want?
So I get that people are going to complain online. I get that people are going to be pissed off about whatever happening didn't go the way they wanted or expected it to. My biggest complaint about the whole thing is that they're basically clogging up the pipes on websites like change.org that are really, letting people's voices be heard about serious issues in our world, political and otherwise. They're clogging up the pipes with shit like, oh, go back and redo Game of Thrones final season. Like, what? It's not going to happen. You're sitting there writing paragraph upon paragraph about why they need to start over for you?
Oh, I read an interview with the person, or a quote from the person who created that.
Yeah.
And his exact quote was, or roughly his quote was, oh, we know they're never going to remake it, but we want them to know how angry we are.
Bullshit. They want that to work.
Are you fucking kidding me? Is that what your life is?
They just want to piss people off.
Bitch. Like, what are you doing?
Wow. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
exactly.
but like, go fucking make something. If you think that you're so good at creating something, Like, first of all, go watch that documentary. Watch all of these people that put all of this time and effort into it. And why don't you say the shit that you're saying about this to their face, first of all. And second of all, everyone acts like they have a better ending for everything. And I'm like, why don't you make something then? That's what I get really annoyed with right now. People think that their opinions matter than they actually do.
More than they do, right. In a way, I mean, I get it, like, fan feedback is important in some situations.
But why?
When you force yourself upon the creators in that way, I mean, because sometimes creators take that feedback and they work it into the show. If done correctly, if done politely, if solicited, if shown passion in a positive way. You look at something like, Korra, Legend of Korra. You know, they worked what the fans wanted into that show. Maybe they weren't going that way initially, but they worked it in there.
I mean, it's kind of like, you know, like, I just don't know why. I don't know. I guess I look at it from the other perspective of someone writing a thing.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, if you're thinking about that, the writing's not going to be good. If you're trying to please everyone, you will never win. You're trapping yourself.
That's true. I almost look at it like,
because you're just living in fear.
Right. But it's also kind of lazy too, if you think about it. If a writer's just sitting around waiting for the fans to tell him what to do, that's not the type of writer you want creating your content. You want somebody with a clear plan.
Right. Are you even a writer then? What are you? Right.
Tom King, who is currently writing the Batman book over at DC. Batman. He had a plan, 100-issue plan.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
Yeah, from the very beginning, he knew how he wanted his run to go.
Right.
DC told him, like, sure, man, you got it for at least 100, whatever you want to do. Apparently they changed their mind because the internet is fucking complaining. And so the one cool thing to come from this, though, because I guess he made some type of statement to the press saying that he's going to do something to Batman that may change him for an entire generation, may change him forever. And so they got cold feet. And so now we don't know because it's part of the story. He didn't want to reveal what was going to happen.
But if he's not going to do it.
Well, here's the thing that they are going to do. So they're going to replace him on Batman after this iteration of his story, after this chapter of his story is done. They're going to give him another spin-off book of his own, kind of like an Elseworlds title. You know, they do this now with Batman, and I do see the value in that for stories that weren't finished, that ended abruptly because of some editorial decision. But orchestrating it like that, giving these internet trolls power, giving them the validation, it's like you can't put that genie back in the bottle.
And sometimes, you know, I was talking to friend Brad about this one time, and he explained it to me, or he kind of laid this out for me in a way that I'd agreed, but I hadn't really articulated it in the same way. Mm-hmm. Where I think we were talking about How I Met Your Mother, maybe about Lost, I don't know, but we're talking about how people have negative feedback on it and this and that, and he was saying that he didn't have any negativity toward it because he knew he was signing up for whatever they were going to give him.
Right.
And he was like, I'm in. I signed up for this, and whatever you're going to end up giving me is what you're going to end up giving me, basically.
Right.
He said it in a better way, but it was just presented that way, like, you know, and that to me is the way that I think we should view stories. And when you read a story and you go, I do this all the time. When I read a story and I go, I wanted it to go this way.
Right.
I don't see that and go, I'm angry because it didn't go my way. And I'm not saying I've never done that, because I have. But like now when I view something like that and I go, damn, this didn't go my way, I would have done this instead of that. I just channel it into something else. Like it makes you a better storyteller, or it makes you seek out better writing. It makes you, like, you don't have to respond to something that didn't play out the way that you wanted it to, with anger and then hating the thing that you liked for so long. You can just go, I would have made a different choice. But, you know.
I get passionate about it. You know, as a consumer of entertainment and as a wrestling fan, it's like there's so many times where the guy that I want to win does not win. And I complain and I kind of pout about it. But then I go to sleep. Next day I wake up. I'm like, okay, what else do they have? What else is next? Because at the end of the day, there are 60 performers on that roster. You know, maybe a little bit less. But there's a lot of performers on that roster that I really care about, that I want to see succeed. I want to see them hit those highs. I want them to make me feel something, you know? And that's, to tie it back to Game of Thrones, that's kind of how I felt at the end of Game of Thrones. I wanted more. It wasn't a matter of like, okay, I think they ended this poorly. It's like, I don't feel like they ended it. I want to know what happens next.
I would argue that I don't think we would have felt that way had the rest of the season been longer.
Absolutely. Because I felt like some seasons were too long. Yes. And this season was definitely too short. Well, that was how it was always.
The length of previous seasons, with the exception of 7, because it was shorter.
Right.
Was good because it was longer, because that's what the show always was. And that's why the last 2 seasons at times felt off, because it was moving so fast that all of a sudden you are just throwing this adrenaline in there, and you're like, wait, what just happened? What just happened?
Right. How do you know this person? What, you met before? You know, there's so many beats that I would love to have followed to see how they played out.
Right, which is why I'm really excited for the book, because the books are going to be better, and I'm just back to where I was a couple years ago when I finished all the books and the show was going, and I'm like, well, I hope I don't die before I get to know the end of this. And now I know the end of it. Now I'm like, well, I hope I don't die before I get to read the rest of them.
I equate it, you know, it's really, if you want to capture lightning in a bottle, it's a lot like Dark Tower. You know, we got that movie. Everybody was clamoring for that. Everybody was begging for it because, you know, these were a lot of folks' favorite books growing up. Stephen King, he finally finished it, you know. He gave us the ending that was satisfactory, and then he wrote the ending that satisfied him, and I thought that was kind of a cool move for him to make. Yeah, but
these
we got
adaptations.
That movie.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Like the movie, we got that, but the thing about it is, it may not have worked for everybody. I thought it was a fun ride for a couple hours. Maybe didn't scratch that itch as much as I wanted to, but you know what? They can do it again, and they will.
I've never read the books, so I have no opinion on it, other than, you know, I want people to get whatever.
Yeah, I would love to hear your opinion on these books, because it's like a Western, like, suspense.
What
horror.
I know about them and how long the series, I'm never reading it. I just don't. First of all, I don't like Westerns.
Okay. Well, you know what? I played that up a little bit. It's more like it has a lot of parallels to Game of Thrones, except you can tell that Stephen King he started out wanting to write a Western. Yeah. But it didn't stay that way.
Yeah, I know he, like, breaks the fourth wall and does weird shit like that.
Absolutely. There's time travel. There's there's characters in there that maybe don't belong. There's a lot of connecting threads to other stories he's done, including his most famous stories. You know, it's just I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, but yeah, we'll sell you on that another time. So Game of Thrones, you talked about Emilia Clarke a little bit, and you were concerned about her coming out of this. Yeah,
so one cool thing that came out of this that I liked was that one of the Reddit that I don't like the shit that's going on in there, but they started a fundraiser for Emilia Clarke's charity, which is Same You. And it's pretty cool. They've raised, like, oh my gosh, thousands of dollars, like more than $25,000 in 2 days is what it said, for Same You. And it was basically saying, like, that there's so much negativity, and this user on Reddit was going, let's kind of have something positive come out of all this negativity. And so it was, let's donate. Let's do something for Amelia because she's our queen. We love her. Let's donate to her charity. And so they've done over $25,000 for it. So that's pretty cool. And if you want to do that, you know, throw some positivity into the world. They have a post about it on Free Folk on Reddit.
Well, we're going to go ahead and share that link directly to it.
Right.
Yeah, just so folks can...
So
if you don't want to go on Reddit, you don't have to go to Reddit.
No, I know. Well, I was going to say it's also just The Same You is the name of the charity. Or you can look up Amelia Clark's charity. But they have a post on this. This is an Entertainment Weekly article that I found on it or was posted somewhere. But yeah, I like that. I like that was a response. I'm messaging you. I was having dreams about Game of Thrones. Like literally dreaming about all of it. How it would end. Like, playing it out in my brain. And it's over and it's not gone. It's just there and I'm waiting. I've read all the books. So now I'm like, I just want the next book. I want these, you know, I want that conclusion.
It's the never-ending story.
Oh, God damn it. It's just, you know, it's not like I was talking about, it's not like I'm not disappointed by things or whatever, but I'm just tired of, you know, so many people being so negative all the time and thinking that somehow makes them interesting.
Well, I think I told you, right after the finale, before you went on social media hiatus.
That was another thing. I had to turn off my phone.
Right.
I was getting messages and stuff.
Oh, that's right. I wanted to tell you, but I ended up tweeting it out. I ended up saying,
yeah, I had to shut everything off.
A lot of these bloggers had these think pieces ready in their drafts. All they had to do was fill in a few key elements and hit send. That was it. They were ready with that shit.
Yeah, they were ready to end it. Like they were ready to shit on it. And when you and I'm definitely on the other side of the same coin of like these people where it's like I love it so much that I'm like, you know, giving it so much leeway and all that. But the big thing is, I just don't. Okay, a good example. I don't like The Walking Dead. I have watched like 2 seasons of it or whatever. That Shane guy was still on it when I was watching it. That was like the prison part of it when they ended it, or when I stopped watching. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't. Okay. It wasn't like it didn't scratch the itch or whatever. It didn't grab on. And I'm not saying I've never made fun of that show or whatever. I'm sure I did in some immature times. But right now it's like I want people to enjoy The Walking Dead. I'm happy that people love The Walking Dead. It's not for me. But I love that they love it.
And I mean, what you're saying, it makes complete sense. It makes 100% sense. And one would hope that in a situation that you are making fun of it, that ultimately people would understand that you're coming from a place of just humor.
Right, but it feels a little different when it's everyone doing
That's what I was saying. That's what I was going to get to. When it's piling on, when it's just like from all directions, when it's said with a serious tone, even in a jack. Okay, when you get
someone said, I saw a Reddit comment, and this was the thing that made me go, I have to leave everything. I saw someone said, I liked the finale in a Reddit comment, and someone said, I fucking hate you in response. And I was like, are you kidding me? What?
Right. It's like, it's your opinion, dude. And
that is so dark. What is wrong with you?
Just fucking maximum Derek.
Maximum Derek. It was so upsetting.
Yeah. I totally get you. Because the worst thing in the world is to feel like you're the only person that really enjoyed something, and this is the default internet troll, age 33. Lives it, whatever. I don't want to stereotype.
But
the keyboard warriors have to get behind their keyboards and write 5 paragraphs about why you're the dumbest person in the world. It's like, really, dude? Like, you can't just let me just walk it off? Just like, okay, cool. Let me think about it for a minute. Maybe I'll agree with you. No, you have to get behind your keyboard.
And you have to tell me that
Yeah.
because I don't like it. And I saw some people going like, just because we're criticizing it, people are like attacking us. I'm like, nobody's attacking you. Literally everyone agrees with you.
Right.
Like,
right.
you are not, stop acting like a victim while also saying, look at these victims. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Have a little bit of care. Have a little bit of sympathy. Have a little bit of understanding.
I mean, the world is shit right now. Let people enjoy things.
Right. If somebody says they enjoyed it, and it's not like, bigoted or racist or sexist, just let them have it. It's fine.
Yeah. That was another thing too, where, I think we talked about like how the Mary Sue was like, right, like, hearing so many people go, well, Game of Thrones has always been sexist and terrible and X, Y, and Z, and so I'm glad it sucks, and I'm glad you're all mad, and I'm glad, you're this and that. And I'm like,
okay.
What? So what? So I'm like a bad feminist because I like this thing? I see things in it that you clearly don't, and so I read these books and you haven't, and or whatever, or maybe you have and you didn't get the same thing from them, but that's okay.
After you mentioned that, after I said that little note about the Mary Sue and how they had their hiatus with covering Game of Thrones because it was too sexist for their particular site, which is fine.
Like,
it's fine.
You don't have to watch it. That's
but then they came back.
Read it, whatever.
They came back a couple seasons later to start taking pot shots again, and it's like, wait a minute, you said you were done. This is supposed to be my safe haven from seeing think pieces about Game of Thrones, which is one of the reasons why I came here. What the fuck, Mary Sue? So I asked in the comments, and the writer of the most recent article shitting on it basically said, well, the people who said that we're not going to talk about it don't work here anymore. I'm like, that's bullshit. Yeah. That's your answer?
That is a whole separate conversation.
I'm not getting in that conversation. That is not my conversation. I'm not getting in that conversation
either, dude.
No.
I don't care what genitalia I have. I am not getting in that conversation. But I just don't, no one has to watch it. No one has to like it.
Right.
Just like I said with Walking Dead, I don't watch it. I don't like it. But that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with liking it. There's something wrong with watching it. Or I just don't know. I feel like people I just don't feel like people even appreciate how amazing the content is that we get on a regular basis.
It's true. I mean, even if you just look at the dragons alone, if you just look at, and I know this is really just
every week.
Yeah.
Every week.
That dragon, the quality of that dragon improved every single time you saw it.
Yeah.
That was dope. It got better before your very eyes.
Yeah. I mean,
it was great. And I know that's the smallest thing on the totem pole, but man, I loved that dragon. The dragons, plural, dragons, yes.
Plurals.
No spoilers here. Haha.
Haha. I don't know why I did it that way.
Yeah. No, so what's your favorite, or what are some of your favorite series finales?
I
put one on my list I know is on yours.
Okay, go for it.
It's your favorite show. Cheers. Cheers ended very well in my opinion.
Yeah, Cheers ended very well, for sure. Because it was just like, just business as usual.
Right.
Mad Men. Loved the finale of Mad Men.
Totally.
I think 6 Feet Under might be the best finale I've ever seen.
Man, just to go back to Mad Men for a second, they could have whiffed on that. I feel like if their internet was at peak internet as it is now.
Are you forgetting that was exactly what happened the next day? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wasn't in. I wasn't on.
This is the culmination of the frustration that I am dealing with right now, and why I've been like, I gotta go walk into the woods and never return. Has been years and years in the making of things that I love, because as soon as Game of Thrones ended, I was like, so I'm just gonna spend years now defending this, like I do with Lost, like I do with Mad Men, like I do with Him Yim, like I do.
I remember
that.
I remember the Venom for Lost.
Yeah.
I definitely remember that. And that like surpassed the internet. That was like people in the office were like pissed off about that. That was amazing.
I remember going to school the next day and, you know, it was
Yeah.
like my junior year of high school or something like that. And, people being pissed. Sopranos
stuck the landing.
being pissed.
Yeah, Sopranos, yeah. I was one of the people who was disappointed in Sopranos.
I disagree with the choice that they made. Because they basically they painted themselves into a corner.
Yeah.
With the pre-taped thing of the kids.
Right.
And that ending
right.
they had to have.
Yeah.
They could have cut that and changed the ending. And they did in the alternate ending on the DVDs. You can find it on YouTube if you just look up Himium alternate ending.
Yeah, it was up pretty quickly, and they didn't really do that much about taking it down. I think they just wanted the fans to see it, so that was cool.
And I thought that was better. But this is the thing where you go, I don't think that was fan service, even though people were upset. Because they made both endings.
Yeah.
And they were sitting in the editing room wondering what to do. And the reason that they went with that was because that was the ending that they went with was because that was the plan the whole time.
Mm-hmm. And
they were like, well, we just should stick with our guns and do that. And I respect that because that was their original plan.
Right.
But I think that a television show is very different from a movie or a novel or whatever, which is it grows and it changes over time.
Oh, certainly.
And that show is a great example of growing in huge ways. Things that happened in season 9 were not even on the radar in season 1.
Right. Right. You look at just Barney's character growth.
Yeah.
A character who should not have grown at all. You know?
No, and then in the end they kind of negated some of that and made some choices that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But whatever, that was the path that they went down.
They wrote themselves into a corner because they made. I don't want to. Well, it's.
It's been a couple of years. I feel like we can just talk about Himium.
Yeah, they made him more likable, and I think that's because of the charm of Neil Patrick Harris.
So
it's like hard
guys,
not
we're gonna spoil Himium because it's been a couple of years, and you at this point you should shit or get off the pot. So, so they made him grow with having a kid, but they didn't make him grow with having an emotional, mature relationship that was lasting. And that's the part where I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. But, they just made him stop being such a lecherous ladies' man, and they made him more of a family man, and they made him likable and a good friend, and just more well-rounded, you know? Yeah, even him and Robin, I love that so much when they actually put them together. I'm like, this
I was so angry when that happened in the finale, when they split in the finale, because that was a big part of, I was like, oh no, this is turning. I felt the turn. And when I watched the episode, a couple episodes before, when they were, when it was the flash forward of Ted and, Tracy at having their anniversary, and she was like, what kind of mother wouldn't be at her kid's funeral, her daughter's wedding?
Right.
And Ted is starting to lose it, and I'm like, oh, no, this is starting to take a turn.
Yeah.
And I really felt my favorite episode of that show, my favorite episode is The Time Travelers, which is the second to last season.
Mm-hmm.
And it's towards the end of the season. And if you rewatch that episode now, knowing the ending, it has even more of an impact. But I remember sitting on my couch watching that and just bursting into tears because it perfectly captured loneliness and that feeling of wanting your life to start and wanting to be in the place that you know you're going to be, but you haven't gotten there yet. And when Ted is like, I'll take just like 5 seconds more with you. And so I started to kind of in the back of my mind feel something, like something was turning. And then it just progressed. And I was like, I don't know if that was the right choice. I don't know if it was.
They had so many good moments like that on that show that really just encapsulated the way that 20-somethings feel. when they see their friends around them,
and
growing.
Nothing can change my love for that show. Any criticisms I have of the finale are more minor, and I can get into that discussion with people that love Him Yim. I can't with people that, go to that place immediately, like, this was terrible, and I'm like, whoa, let's talk about it. Let's talk about why they made that choice. Another one that I loved, which I just rewatched and finished, was New Girl.
Okay.
I thought that the ending for that was perfect. And really well done. Funny, and kind of, makes you tear up a little bit. Now I'm trying to think.
I like the end of Scrubs' 8th season.
Yes.
I thought that was a perfect ending to the show.
Yeah, crying on that one.
Oh, man.
Sure.
Yeah,
Office
same.
was great. Great finale.
Office was great. I feel like that goes without saying. Parks and Rec was good, but it felt like they tried to be too ambitious with the time jump.
I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked it.
I like Breaking Bad's ending.
Yeah, I did too. I liked Breaking Bad's ending.
I don't know. You didn't watch.
Did I ever tell you my Breaking Bad finale story?
Uh-oh. No. Let's hear it.
I was watching Breaking Bad. My dad was super into it, and I was super into it. We were watching it together. Mm-hmm. And I had DirecTV at the time, and DirecTV was cutting out. So satellite went out at the very end.
No.
And then it opens up on the final shot.
No.
And I went outside and was like crying and like hitting the DirecTV. This is how intense I get about shows, guys. Hitting the satellite dish, being so angry.
I would give anything to have that footage, man. Just like fucking
DirecTV. If I'm on that level, it's not good because I don't get there often. I really don't. I get angry and I get like this and that. If I'm on that, like I'm gonna cry. I'm so upset. You need to watch out because I'm going to hit things. I'm going to, that's how I fucked up my foot like a couple weeks back. Was my computer crash when I was taking a timed final.
Yeah.
And I kicked a like full box of things clear across the room barefoot and fucked up my ankle for like a good week. I don't know how I haven't broken my hand. I've punched numerous walls. It's gotten better as I've gotten older. I just when I reach that level, which this is like a once a year thing for me.
You know why I don't punch
really
shit?
Bad maybe twice.
Yeah.
And that's another level. Like I said, when I was like 16, it was way worse. My brother has been, when he was a teenager, he was terrible at it too. He broke so many things. We both have like that angry, I think that's why I get upset at other people's aggression. Because I recognize that it's real. And I've been there, and I've learned to control it, that 98% of the time.
Yeah.
And I've never hit someone else or anything like that. Like it's never manifested in that way. It's always been I need to hit a wall. And I don't remember it ever being someone else did something and then I got angry. It's always I did something and I'm taking it out on myself. Or something happened that was circumstantial that happened and I'm taking it out this way. I don't recall it ever being related to, oh no, that one was. Never mind. But
okay.
they weren't there.
I was gonna say, like, just kinda on topic. Like, I don't punch walls because I remember an episode of Roseanne where Dan punched through some drywall when he was fighting with Roseanne. And I remember what a big deal that was. Yeah, and how it freaks you out. Like, where you're like, this is... If you are a person that is around someone who's angry on that level, whether or not they actually physically, like, hit something or like, show that aggression, when you can feel that turn... Yeah.
I have had things thrown at me or whatever, like that type of situation.
Yeah.
By unhealthy people. and or that those types of signs of aggression. And like I said, I didn't do that. I remember the worst thing I ever did was I flipped off my dad when I was like 12.
Wow.
That was the thing that, my dad was like, "You're gonna regret that." Like he didn't even say you're gonna face repercussions. He just said you're gonna feel bad about that. And like an hour later, I was like crying and really upset about it.
I've done that.
Yeah,
like not flip somebody off, but I've verbally said some things to people that I will wish until my dying day that I could take back.
Yeah,
because it comes from a place of frustration and of passion. And I mean, I don't want to say it comes from a place of love, because it's not what you do to people you love. And coming to that realization,
it does not come from a place of love. It's
coming to that realization is what gets you through it to the point where it's like, all right, I don't want to treat somebody I love like this. This is not healthy. And I think everybody needs to kind of encounter their own like limit, so they can find out what type of person they are. Right.
What's funny is I said earlier, I was furious at you. Like, it was not this. This is what I'm talking about. This is like the DEFCON level has now reached, like that was, I was like, damn it, Matt. Like, it was that kind of furious. I really can't think of a situation where I was so angry at someone else. It's always been my own shit. It's always been being hard on myself.
I mean, I can, but I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
I also have experienced situations where I've been the person that's pissed somebody off. I've been hit. I have definitely been hit before. And it's like just a weird situation, because
it's been like it was like schoolyard, like little kid stuff for me.
Okay. Not me. This is all adult shit.
Right, but at the same time, like, unfortunately, I don't think it's acceptable, but, like, it's more acceptable for men to be hit. So, men hit by other men,
just to go back to what I was trying to say.
Like, it's all not cool, guys. Like, don't hit other people. I don't care what
I was trying to say earlier is that, like, the whole thing about Dan hitting that wall, I know how I'm perceived. I'm a big dude. And for me, basically, I'm going to outweigh anybody that is on the receiving end of that, and I don't want to be that. I just don't want to be
when
that type
I do
of monster.
they're like, "Oh my god, look at the Cabbage Patch Kid!" Aw, like I'm not a danger to anyone. Like, I'm 5'2", fucking tiny little bitch. Like, I'm an angry little one, but like I can't. I don't have that. What you're talking about, where you're like, well, I could scare the shit out of people.
They say, I don't want to be Dan. I want to be Sully. That's just it. That's the difference right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I think that, like, back to this, like, that aggression and that anger and all that stuff, when it manifests in these other weird ways, and I see it in other people, I kind of go, I'm working to fix that stuff. You should already be past this. And that's not realistic. Like, that's not. Like, I should not expect people to be on that other level yet. Or anything like that, because everyone's a work in progress. Everyone's flawed. Everyone has this and that. But I get really frustrated when I'm like, why does it not feel like you're at least trying?
Well, you did what you felt you had to do. And I get it. And that actually made a difference, because I know if you feel that passionately about something, that you are going to come from that level of frustration and just be real about it, which also is appreciated, then you feel really strongly about it. I totally get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know.
I mean, at the moment, I was all cloudy and high off of medication, but, when I thought about it, it made sense. You want to do a wall of weird?
Yeah, sure. I have notes in here. I just want to acknowledge it and then not talk about it, because I don't know why I wrote this.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I was going to ask about this too.
I wrote, did Luke and Leia fuck? Did they, though? Did they? I don't know what happened here, guys.
I felt like you changed it. You wrote like they had to, right? Or something like that.
I don't think so. I think I was just writing the did they, though. I don't know. Tell us, did you guys think Luke and Leia fucked? Because I felt, I mean, now that I guess maybe I was watching, I don't remember watching Star Wars, so I don't know where this came from. But
I'm like,
maybe
were
this
you
is a
just trying to
question I've
find
had
some
for years.
conversation starter?
No,
like,
no.
we were low
maybe
on
this-
content
I think
at
this was
first.
just something. This is how stupid my brain is. That my brain was just drifting to like. Maybe it was like I was thinking of the Lannisters or something. I don't know. But like,
I
I
came
was
up with
just
3
like-
reasons why they didn't, but we can wait until the audience comes
okay,
back.
I'm not saying they actively were fucking. I'm
Okay.
saying that they fucked, like, they fucked at the end, at, like, the end, somewhere between A New Hope and the end of Empire. Before he found out.
Nope.
No?
I'm gonna say no. Because, okay, my main rationale for saying no is because Luke, if you take away all the sci-fi bullshit, Luke was a geeky hillbilly kid from some backwater town.
That is
She's a
not against
princess.
the argument that they fucked, bud.
Oh, no. She's a princess, okay? He doesn't interact with women too often. Remember him whining about going to Tashi Station, working on some power converters?
I actually do subscribe to that theory that Luke is gay.
I mean, that's a whole different conversation. I'm just saying, like,
No, I'm just kidding.
when I look at
anything.
Luke through the Leia goggles, I ain't seeing fuckable. Plus, you got a bad boy right there in Han. That's the second point.
Yeah.
Second point.
No. I mean, she definitely wanted to fuck Han, but like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, we all did. I mean, second point is
Yeah,
she just
Luke
kissed.
did too. Like, Chewie
Exactly.
did. I'm sure Chewie and Han fucked. I mean, Lando.
We saw them.
sure.
We saw them shower together in Solo. So I mean, hey.
Wait, what?
things out. Well, you didn't see Solo?
Oh, I haven't seen Solo.
Oh, disregard what I just said. Then never mind.
I don't think
yeah.
I want to see Solo. No.
So she kissed Luke just to get under Han's skin.
Yes, I always got that,
Yo.
but I was a
And then
little bit worried.
when she kissed him, quote unquote, for luck, that was just to get his adrenaline pumping so he could hoist both of them across that crevasse with that thin ass wire. That was just to get his blood pumping. It wasn't
okay,
that's all
I don't
that
think
was.
they fucked, but it was disturbing.
You're like, I give up. Forget it.
No. I don't want them to. I don't want this to be reality. I don't want, like, but oh my god, what if that was the twist of the last movie? That that this little bitch is angry because he's actually a little, the tree hasn't split.
That's not good. It's not good.
Sorry, I spoiled episode 9 for you guys.
Oh no. It was Lucas.
The rise of incest.
Can you imagine George Lucas sitting there like, should I write this way? Nah.
George is lighting $100 bills on fire and using them for to light his cigars. So I don't think he's involved in any of the writing of the current stuff. So he's like, I don't give a fuck.
Enjoy your incest soap operas, kids.
He's laughing, drinking scotch right now. Doesn't care.
Yes.
All right. Wall of Weird.
Let's do
this Nexium update.
Okay.
So, first of all, I don't remember who. Someone sent me an audio file, and I'm going to go look on my, because I believe it was my personal. So someone sent me an audio file that was or an article that was about the Nexium, and I listened to the audio.
Oh.
Okay, I don't remember who sent me this. I can't find it. Oh yes. Oh no. Okay, I found it. It was Gabriella. So she sent me this audio, and I listened to it, and it was Allison Mack and Keith Renier, which is the guy who ran Nexium, talking about branding the girls, branding the women, and it was like, I think we should get them completely naked, and it should be like, yes, do it to me, so that they don't think, and she's like, yeah, and like just agreeing with him, and just like, yeah, no, that's okay, yeah, okay. It was insane. So because this trial is going on right now, that's why we're getting so much more information of what exactly was going on in Nexium. So that audio is super disturbing. I appreciate it being sent because, of course, I want to listen to it. I'm fucked up.
It's super disturbing.
Listen to it
really
now.
is.
No, I'm not playing it.
No.
What if I just started playing it? That's the next 30 minutes of the podcast or whatever.
That's it. That's how we generate content.
So, gotta generate that content somehow. So they just gave more details about this, where a former slave, and I hate to use these terms, guys, but this is what they called them in Nexium, the women in Nexium. Right. Lauren Salzman told jurors in a court in Brooklyn that Keith Raniere would preside over meetings fully clothed. When he was unable to attend meetings in person, the women would take naked photos and text it to him.
Oh my God.
Making sure that he could see where he branded them with his initials. We were to look uniform and happy. Raniere faces charges of sex trafficking, child pornography, for his self-help group. Also, I want to know more about why they were recording Allison Mack and Keith Raniere. Why were they recording this stuff? They were having recordings of this conversation. They are so stupid.
Yeah.
Unless she did it as like a way to save herself. If she
I doubt that.
I think too.
Because it really feels like everybody was just really under this haze of just brainwash.
Yeah.
You know, like they just really thought that they were too big to fail. Basically, just I don't know. It's so strange. It's fascinating in these situations when people feel like they're never going to get caught, so they just leave all this evidence just out. You know? Yeah,
that requires. I'm like, I'd get caught in a second. I just don't understand it. So this details how Nexium teachers portrayed Raniere as some kind of god who would unlock a more fulfilling life for his followers. Guys, no one is going to make your life better in that way. You got to make your own life better. Even your spouse, even like the person that you love. You know what? Your child's not going to save your marriage. I'm sorry, guys.
I'll take it a step further. When you give control of yourself to another party, whether that's a friend or a loved one, a spouse, whatever, you're losing part of yourself, and ultimately that person is going to fail you. Yeah. You're going to have to pick yourself up. Better to have your own back first and foremost than have to pick up the pieces after somebody dumps you.
Yeah. No,
that sounded really bad. I didn't mean to make it sound so just like...
I agree. No, you can't. It's not healthy. I was just listening to, what the fuck? Mark Maron's podcast with Jane Fonda, and she was talking about the exact same thing. She's been married 3 times, and she says, I'll never be in another relationship with a man, romantic relationship with a man, because I give too much of myself. I give all of it. And, like, she loses who she is.
Yeah, that's never a good thing. Like, that phrase right there, that last part right there where you say you lose who you are. You got to keep your individuality. You got to keep what makes you you. Or else, I mean, it's twofold. One, you're not yourself anymore, of course. Duh, obvious. Secondly, you're losing what attracted the person to you in the first place.
That's the trick of it.
You don't want to become a copy of them.
Well, what's tough is you have to...
people are self-loathing.
Right. What's tough is you have to grow as well. It's just very complicated. And if someone, by the way, just throwing this out there, if someone really likes that you've molded into their personality, that person is a narcissist and you need to run away. Mm-hmm. Sweetie babies. Sweet chili babies. You can't fix a narcissist. If you think there is like, I'm telling you this, someone who has dealt with narcissism, you cannot, not personally, you know what I mean, someone else in my life, you cannot fix a narcissist. This has been told to me by many mental health professionals. They tell you cannot fix it. All you can do is separate yourself from it. So if someone is very into that, like this dude is, who wants to be a god and wants to see himself on your body and wants all that, you need to separate yourself from that person. Get away as soon as you can.
Yes, I agree. And as someone who is a narcissist, what up? No, I may have mentioned several episodes ago, maybe on the 2nd or 3rd episode, that I want a cult. Forget I said any of that stuff.
Oh, yeah, but
I don't want this type of cult. We were only joking. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Everyone knows we're talking about that. We're fine. It's the real have you met a legit narcissist before?
Oh, absolutely.
They scare the shit out of you, don't they?
Yeah, because they just they have a way.
The way that they lie and manipulate, it is
because it's
terrifying.
Not lying.
No, it's the
their
truth.
It's
truth.
Their truth.
Yeah. No,
everybody else is wrong but them.
Everything bends to them.
Exactly.
And that is how they perceive reality, and it is terrifying.
There's no fake it till you make it. You made it, and the whole world just needs to recognize that you made it.
Yeah. It's so scary. So beware of narcissist cult leaders, guys.
Right.
And that
I can't believe we just had to say that, but yeah.
No, because
we're narcissistic cult
and here's
leaders.
The thing. I'm not just saying beware of it for yourself. Be mindful of the people around you who might be in a situation that is not healthy. And if you are worried about that, you can call these hotlines. You can look into it. There are resources out there that are available to help you maybe help someone in a bad situation.
Right.
So, that's the other part of being aware of it. It's not just it's not just like, how do I get myself out of the situation? It might be, how do I get my friend out of it? How do I get my sister out of it? How do I get my brother out of it? Whatever it may be.
Yeah. And I want to give some love to people that have survived those type of situations and worked their way out, because that is no small feat.
No,
I admire that so much, and you deserve all the credit in the world for picking
100%.
yourself up and walking out, because that's
wow.
Yeah,
it's awful. I mean, if you got out of it, seriously, love to you. That
right.
is, and it's not just a thing that's going to fix itself overnight. You're going to deal with it forever. But you're not alone. A lot of people have dealt with things like this. And, that's why we have, mental health professionals. That's why we have friends and family and loved ones and all of that. All of these things help us kind of piece together what we lost. And maybe make something better after it. Do you want to talk about something lighter?
Okay, what do we got?
Washington becomes the first state to legalize human composting.
I feel like all we need is the headline off of that.
May 1st, 2020. This is natural organic reduction. This is legit, by the way. So it's liquid cremation is an acceptable means of disposition for human bodies. And so now they've only done burial and cremation. So basically they're going to let you organically green bury people.
Wild. Now, I saw something, I want to say years ago, where they would basically put your remains, that you would be cremated. They put your remains in this type of capsule that you would plant.
Yes.
And a tree would grow.
Yes.
And I thought that was kind of neat.
It is very neat. It is not the greenest way to die. Because of the cremation. There are greener burials. You're actually better off going in what this is mostly talking about is an unmarked grave.
Yeah.
Now they geotag it. So it's not technically unmarked anymore. It is digitally marked. But they don't put headstones or anything like that that'll take up space, and then they just let everything grow around it, and it's a park. Allie was even telling me about how they do this to preserve some land. So this is we want to keep this as a national park, or we want to conserve this land, and if you bury human remains there, they have to keep it untouched. So you're basically in your death. Your body goes back into the earth, and then, into the soil, and things can grow, and, worms can eat your face and all that. And you,
yeah.
And you can also protect land. So that's basically what this is talking about, where it's saying that, they will allow, because the rules for disposing of a body are very strict. My grandfather ran a funeral home and everything like that. So he was a, what's it called?
Undertaker?
Yeah, there's another word for it. Mortician. Like
Mortician.
Yeah,
Okay.
he did all of that. Like he did all of the he went to school for it and everything. And he also ran ambulance service. So there's a lot of really, really strict rules for that. And what they're basically starting to do now is become a little bit more lax on that so that people can be buried, with a little bit more ease. I'm sure that they're going to have to deal with permits and things like that to make sure it's okay.
Sure.
Because,
and
ideally,
ideally,
random bodies.
Right. You don't want just random bodies popping up like, oh no, that's supposed to be there. That's fine.
Yeah.
No, that's scary. That's how The Wire starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm all for that. And I got to be honest, that's something I think about a lot because I don't want to be just buried. I don't want to take up space,
Yeah.
I think about all these cool things that you read about, like, oh, this guy got blasted into space and, his remains are in orbit now. But eventually those remains come back down. I think about burial at sea, but, I mean, that's a lot to put on a person after you pass away. I want you to go on a cruise.
The Frank from It's Always Sunny, and he's like, I'm dead, just throw me in the trash. Like that. No, I like the green burial. If I can find a way to somehow help something else. Yeah. Like I saw that Luke Perry was buried in this suit that creates mushrooms or something like that. Like he had a green burial, and it's this whole you're basically like head to toe in this suit. He had just read about it, right before he died, and he told his kids that he wanted it, and they managed to do that.
That's amazing. Small update. His son did a fantastic job at his performance at AEW this past weekend.
I didn't know he had a performance. That's
yeah. He's a wrestler named Jungle Boy, and it's just basically like a Tarzan sort of thing. But
we talked about that before.
Yeah. But he did a great job, and I hope he's living his best life right now.
Yeah.
I know it's not something to get over that quickly, but he's pushing forward, and I admire that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the wall of weird for this.
That was the wall of weird.
Yeah. And then Kara actually messaged us right before we recorded. And she sent that same article about the first state decomposition. And I was like, this is already in the notes.
There you go. Thank you, Kara.
No, even if we've already found it, we still appreciate you sending it to us because, if we haven't talked about it, you don't know that we have it. So send them in. Always appreciated. We're saving all of them. Even if we haven't talked about something you've sent in yet,
we have a database.
Save them. Yeah, we have a wall.
It's a literal wall.
The string.
Yeah.
Have it.
Right on. Okay. Let's say that's a show, man.
It's a whole show.
Did good. Yeah, it's a whole show.
That's a show. Were we supposed to read graphic novels this week?
I think so. I read actually, you know what? I read a lot of comics.
Yeah.
A lot of comics. I finished Mr. Miracle.
Cool.
I finished I kept calling him Miracle Man, and Kelsey was calling me out on that. Oh. She's like, you mean Mr. Miracle? Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was enjoyable. I might have mentioned it before, but if you liked Tom King's Vision book, then you're going to enjoy this. Yeah. So I dug it. I also read some more of the Doom Patrol Omnibuy. I read some more Carl Barks Duck books. And just really trying to take it real easy and chill with the comics, man.
Yeah, I took a break from Chew and read The Descender.
Oh yeah, I saw you post that.
Yeah, the Jeff Lemire book. Mm-hmm. It was interesting. I don't know how hooked I am to the story, but the artwork, oh my god. It's like watercolors.
Wow.
But very light on color, so it's almost like half sketch, half watercolor. It's gorgeous. The artwork, I mean, I'd recommend the first volume just for the artwork alone.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, do I keep going or do I not? I don't know. It's like science fiction that's not necessarily grabbing me. I can go either way with some of those, like genre specific pieces. But yeah. So I think I'm going to go back into Chew unless I make a change.
Well, I read Detective Comics number 1000, which felt like a graphic novel because it was so
Was
freaking
that
long.
was that the wedding that didn't actually happen?
No, that was Batman number 50. That's part of Tom King's run. And one reason why the internet's all like, rah, 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 you said they were going to get married and blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's not done yet, you know? Anyway, I read Detective number 1000 and it was good. It had a lot of callbacks to like old eras of Batman. Denny O'Neil did some of the artwork in there. Kevin Smith wrote a story, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say it's funny, but it's like, it's totally a Kevin Smith story. It's like, yeah, you wrote this, dude.
Yeah.
You know, Paul Dini, of course, had to get in there. But yeah, good stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't decided. I don't know. It feels like I'm keep searching for something like in these books and I can't find it.
Well, I tell you what, if you're going to search no farther than Third Coast Comics right here in Chicago, Illinois, where you can get 10% off of your graphic novels that are mentioned right here on Lex and Matt's Excellent Adventure. That's right, folks. Yes. Third Coast Comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we always end up posting, we usually end up posting images on our Instagram, and if you go onto our Instagram page in the stories, it has a little picture and it says GN Challenge. Those are all of the books that we've picked. So there's our little list.
Yep, we have the best intentions of doing this weekly, but you know, life. So,
life happens. Life finds a way.
Comics are supposed to be a departure. They're supposed to be a way of relaxing, of letting your hair down. So, you know, read whatever you want. Read what we read. You know, we'll give you good suggestions, but just enjoy what you want. It's fine.
Yeah, that's my problem. I end up I'm like, let me work on my avocado sweater instead, just for forever. Watch The Office. That's my life right now.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm not complaining when I have that downtime when I'm like, oh yeah, let me just watch The Office and knit. God, I'm ancient, and I love it.
It's all right. There's nothing wrong
no,
with
I'm aging into my personality. I'm it. Like this is it. This is what I've wanted all along.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, all right, you folks, if you want to follow what we're doing, check out at Lex and Matt on all the stuff. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, we're there. We're ready. Yeah.
We appreciate you guys sending us stuff. We're going to work on the Patreon. I have the tiers. I just haven't. I have to do the video and the thing and yeah.
We have the meats. No, we had an initial idea for the Patreon when Lex was in town, and I did my half of the video, but now it's completely different, so we've got to redo it. It's fine.
It's not that it was wrong. It's that you filmed it hot dog style, and it needs to be hamburger style. Remember how they fold the paper? They used to say fold it hot dog, fold a hamburger.
I tell you what. That's going to be one of the first things we release on Patreon for the backers.
What?
My hot dog
hot dog
video.
Yeah.
Hot dog and with Matt Peters. That's what we call it.
Hot dog.
Anyway, no, we're not.
Oh
we're totally not doing that.
Please no.
I'm getting loopy.
I am too, and I'm not that tired. I don't know why. I think it's just when we hit this 2-hour mark, I'm just like, fuck it.
Right.
Like, ugh.
Well, I've been sitting on this. I've been sitting on this exercise ball for 2 hours now, so it's time to move.
My cat is like just staring daggers at me right now. Like, you need to stop and cuddle with me? What's happening?
Right.
All right. Okay, Sammy, I will. All right, guys, be excellent to each other.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Adventures. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.